Schelling once said, I use the game theory to help myself understand the conflict situations and opportunities. With this word, I, CA Jyoti Sapramadan, will help you in getting more details about the game theory. In today's session, we will discuss about the mixed strategy. What actually the question is of mixed strategy and how we solve the problem of mixed strategy in the game theory. Right? The table, the learning outcome, once we understand about the mixed strategy as being a quantitative manager, what we will able to learn from the mixed strategy. The first point we will able to learn about the behavior insights. Yes, we would actually get it what will be the behavior thinking of R when we are dealing with the game theory. Right? The mixed strategy reveals how the players will deal up when there is no saddle point. When there is no saddle point, what will be the behavior of the quantitative managers and how they deal with the situation. The second thing is the equilibrium concepts. Yes, when we are not able to find out the situation as the saddle point in the game theory or in the case of a pure strategy game, as it is a concept of mixed strategy, how will we will get the question of equilibrium concept? How we get the optimum solution and how we get the answer of the optimum solution. When there is a mixed strategy, then how we will find out the optimum strategies for the others. When there is no pure strategy, right? The third point is the decision making. Yes, you have to make the decision. When you are able to understand about the mixed strategies, you are able to find out the decision under the uncertainties. As there is no certainty in the case of a mixed strategy, how will you as being a QT manager will deal with the uncertainty situation? How you will balance between the exploiting their opportunities? How will get out the balance equations? Right. Coming up with the fourth point, the learning outcome from this session is the strategic complexities. As it is a mixed situation, definitely there will be a complexity. That means you have to decide about the strategic, how the strategy can be made in the situation of this complex scenario. Right? It highlights the complexity of the decision maker and they should focus, emphasize the optimum strategy, that you are able to find out the optimum strategy in a very good manner. Right? The fifth point is the applications. Yes, the mixed strategy in the game theory can be applied in the different scenarios, in the different situations, in the different business environment. And these are like such as the pricing strategy. Yes, when you have to make a bidding, you have to make an auction. Bidding in the auction, this strategy plays a very important role when you are act as a QT manager. This can be come up in the many competitive advertising situation. Yes, when you are dealing in a competitive advertisement situation, you have to make your strategies in a proper way so that it can be applied in perfect, accurately and effectively, and your outcome will be the best outcome as a manager wants to be. So these are the 5 learning outcomes which we will learn in today's session with the help of mixed strategy. By one situation, today we will deal about the mixed strategy. The first point over here is in the game theory. In the previous session, we have discussed when there is a strategy of the pure, we are easily find out the saddle point and how we get the saddle point. Hope you remember. Yes, we have to follow the rule of row minimum, right, and the column maximum. From the row minimum, we will find out min max, right, and from the column we find out the maximum. From the column we have to find out the minimum value. This is when there is the one point where both coordinate, that will be a saddle point. But the situation is that when in the game theory, without saddle point, you have to follow the system of mixed strategy, and we can solve this question by the 3 different methods. And the first method is your algebraic method. Right, with the equations, with the algebraic method we just have discussed in this like when we are juniors, like we are discussing in the session 5th, 6th, 7th standard, we used to discuss about the algebraic method. Right, now I will help you in getting the algebraic method without learning the situations or equations. The second method is your game, that's a graphic method. Yes, with the help of graph we able to find out the exact perfect situation. Don't worry, you don't need to use the graph paper of class 1st, 2nd, 3rd. You can make the graph by using your pen and paper or taking like a rough equations, right? The third, the very important point is the linear programming method. But this method we will do in the second block, that's a linear programming equations. But in today's session we will discuss more about the algebraic method and more detail about the graphic method. Done? Now coming up further, the third point, the starting point, that's an algebraic method. Please make it very clearly that you have to know about the situations and the formula. But you easily, step by step, can came to know about the shortcuts of doing these questions. Okay, start reading these questions like what you have given. You have given a two-player, player 1 and 2, right? Player B is having again two situations 1 and 2. That means this matrix is of 2 by 2, right? The 2 by 2, that means player 1 and the player 1 over here. Player A has the one strategy and the player B has the one strategy. Then the equation of this will be, or payoff matrix of this will be A11, right? This comes up if the player A one strategy and the player B of second strategy, then the cell will be called as A12, as we have discussed earlier also in this. We're taking considered with the player A the second strategy and the player B the first strategy, that is this 2 and this 1, then it will be called as A21, and this for the second strategy and this is also for the second strategy for both the players, then we will call it as A22, that is A cell 2 and the row 2, row and column both 2. Right? Now you have to follow what you have to use the follow, that's algebraic method. It is given over here, just have a read. Consider the 2% zero-sum game. Consider 2% zero-sum game with the following payoff matrix. Now let us consider x1 and x2 be the probability. Now we are taking it sum as probability of using the first and the second strategy by the player A. The player A, we are using a 2 probability x1 and x2, and as we all know, the sum of x1 plus x2 will be 1, right? And considering with the second one, let y1 and y2 were the player B, and same will be considered y1 plus y2 will be equals to 1. Or we can say in that way also, y1 is equals to 1 minus y2. Yes, you can say. Okay, this is fine. This is a basic term. Now we have to learn the formula. First we have to understand what is the basic formula of the algebraic method. Now I am coming to the formula part to you. But I will tell you the shortcut without learning the formula. But you have to know the formula also, right? Hope you remember 1 1 1 2, 2 1 2 2. So the strategy, optimum strategy for the player A, and that you have to learn with the x1. As we have discussed x1 and x2, that's a probability of getting the optimum strategy by the player A, right? So x1 is equals to A22 minus A21. Denominator is A11, A22, the value or the cell at A11 and A22 minus the bracket A21 plus A12, right? This is the value for x1. You have to calculate this value. Considering the next point, that's the y1, the probability for the player B, right? A22 minus A12, see over here is A22 and here also A22, but here it is 2 1, the cell 2 1, that is the strategy 2 and the column was 1, and this is 1 2. So remember this thing, this is 1 2, right? Now coming up to the next point, but the denominator over here for the x1 and the y1 is the same. Please have a look on that. A11 plus A22 minus A21 and A12. So this one and this one remains the same, right? Now if you are able to find the value of x1, will you able to find the value of x2? Yes, definitely, by using this concept x2 is equals to 1 minus x1. Right, same with the y1. Once we are able to find out the value of y1, we are able to find out the value for y2, that's considering 1 minus y1. Right, this is for x1 and x2. As we have discussed, we have taken this value x1 and x2 be the probability strategy for the player A and y1, 1, 2 for the player B. Right, now coming up to the next point, that's a very important point, that's the value of the game. In the last, actually what you have to find out, you have to find out the value of the game, and the value of the game will be A11 multiplied by A22 and the minus A21 multiplied by A12. Now please have a look on the denominator once again. A11, A22, A11, A22, A11 and A22. Is it the same? Right. Minus, here it is a minus, minus and the minus. Try to use the mind where we have to like using less mind and we can get the best result. A21 and 12, A21 and 12, same with this figure A21 and 12. What we get with this algebraic situation is either we are taking an x1, either we are taking a y1, either we are taking the value of the game, the denominator remains the same. But if we are talking about the denominator remains the same, but if we are talking about the numerator, there is a difference in the numerator for all these three values. Right? Now, we will try to use this concept and without learning the formula, we can easily find the value of the game on the optimum strategy for player A and B by using the simple concepts which I will tell you in the given example. You can use this formula to find out, putting the values in the formula, simply you can get the answer. But I am helping you to without using this formula and find out the value. Right? Take out your pen and paper and start using the question number 1, that's a numerical 1. You are given again a 2 players with the 2 strategies 1 and 2. This is but of this first and second, and this is a player B and we are taking a 2 strategy 1 and 2. Now you can do what you can do. You can use the formula which we have just discussed, but without using the formula, are we able to find out the situation? The answer is yes. Now I am just telling you the shortcut for this, and using the shortcut we are able to find the value of game and the optimum strategy for player A and B with the following example. Right, what we have to use? We have to use one basic concept over here. What we have used, see, just I am telling you one more thing over here. First you can look over this. We have given what 3, minus 2, 2 and 5, but we have written over here 3, 5 and 7, 1. How this come up, I will help you out. Try to use the mind, just a little bit mind try to use up. What we have done, you have to minus, and remember you nothing have to write in minus. All the figures should be in plus only. Whether it come in minus, but you have to use the figure as plus 1, right? See what we have done, plus all these two, 3 plus minus 2, that means 1, right? But again, remember we are ignoring the figure of, what we are ignoring? Minus. Like taking one example, 3 minus 2. If I am taking this way, 3 and 2, that is 3 minus 2, 1 will be there, but we are not writing 1 on this column wise, we are writing on the next column. A shortcut, a simple concept, 3, 2 and we are writing 1 over here. Just, and my hand is not reaching over there, so I am just helping with this way. Okay, what we are doing, 3 minus 2, minus, we have to do the minus, 3 minus 2, that will become up 1, but 1 we are not writing over here, we were writing 1 over here, right? We writing 1 over here. Same with the example, minus 2 minus 5. Minus 2 minus 5, that will be minus 7, but we don't have to use the minus, that means the 7 will be there. Hope you getting? Simple. Minus these 2, write it over here. Minus these 2's, write it over here. The cross this cross, right? Again, I am helping you. It's a little tough, I understand, but you have to use the mind. Minus these 2, 3 minus 2, that's 1, write it over here. Minus 2 minus 5, that is 7, write it over here. Right? Same example in the same way. 3 minus 2 minus 2. Minus and minus. Minus minus will become 5. Then 5 you have to write over here. No. In the downside. This way. Crisscross. Right? Same here. 2 minus 5. 2 minus 5 will be minus 3. But we have to write it over here. Crisscross. Right? The sum of minus of these two will be on the upper side and then on the lower side. Hope you find this is clear. Shall we proceed further? I am just rubbing this crisscross so that not make any mistake. Please add this. This 7135, 7135. Done. Shall we proceed with the second step? Now on the second step, 5 and 3, that will be total 8. 5 and 3, 8. But right over here is, what we have to write over here is 3 divided by 8. Right? For this what we have to write? We have to write 5 divided by 8. Right? Same in this way, 7 plus 1 is 8. we write over here 7 divided by 8, and for this we have to write 1 divided by 8. Right? Very easy. No need to learn the formula, you just have to write it. Now what the next step will be? Proceed further. Shall I am using the next step, come it over here, and I am using the next step. What we have to do in the next step? Optimum strategy for player A. What will the optimum strategy for player A will be? This one, 3 by 8, 5 by 8. Right? And the second point, optimum strategy for player B. If I have to write for the player B, what we have to do? 7 by 8, 1 by 8. This is the optimum strategy for player A and B. And what about the value of the game? The value of game will be, now it's a point, TikTok, again you have to make it clear. What we have to do? Multiply this value to this value and plus this value multiplied by this value. I am helping you, please have a look. 3 upon 8 multiplied by this 3 plus 5 upon 8 multiplied by 2. 5 upon 8 multiplied by 2. Sum of this, 3 3s are 9 upon 8 plus 5 2s are 10 upon 8. That means 19 upon 8 is your value of game. This is how we have to do it. Ma'am, why you have multiplied by this into this and this into this? Can't we multiply this? Yes, you can. Just check it. Come here and check over here. The value of game, use your mind, 7 by 8 multiply by this, 1 by 8 multiply by this, right? Can check it over here. 7 3s are 21 upon 8. This is minus 2 1s are 2. 2 upon 8. 21 minus 2. That will be equals to 19 upon 8. Have a look. 19 upon 8. Is I'm fine over here? 19 by 8. 19 by 8. Yes, that means we done a right answer. So hope you are able to understand this figure. Don't worry ma'am, it's very tough. Yes, it is a tough, but don't worry, we are double tough. Right? So we will do one more question of this and practice it. But at least we don't have to learn the formula. That is the main thing over here. Shall we proceed further? I am showing you one more time of this question. It's a little tough, I agree with you. It's a little tough, I literally agree with you. But we have to do it. Okay. See, the question is this. The player A has a 2 strategy. Player B has a 2 strategy. And we have to find out the best strategy and the value of the game. First, what we have to do? See the concept, what we have to do. 3 upon 2 minus 2 upon 5. Minus it from the column and the row wise. But you have to write it on the opposite direction. Right? See over here. 3 minus 2. That will be minus plus 5. We have done over here. Right? We have done over here. This one. This we have done 5 over here. Right? Now for this value 2 and 5. 2 minus 5, that is minus 3, but we don't have to take the minus sign. Write it over here. Right? Now with the column wise, 3 minus 2, 3 minus 2, 1, but we have to write on the crisscross side, that's 1. Same with this, minus 2, minus 5, minus 2 and minus 5 will be 7, but we have to do it crisscross sides. This one, 7. Right? Now to sum the value, that 7 and 1 will be 8, and then proportionate that value 7 upon 8 and 1 upon 8. Same with this 3 and 5, that's an 8, 3 upon 8 and 5 upon 8. Right? Now you have to write the optimum strategy for player A. The optimum strategy for player A is 3 by 8, 5 by 8, and the optimum strategy for player B will be 7 by 8, 1 by 8. Done. And the next and the last step is to find out the value of the game. And how we find out the value of game? Again, this value, that's which we have calculated, 3 by 8, multiply by this one, this value multiply by this one. So 3 by 8 multiply by 3 plus 8, 5 by 8 multiply by 2, and the plus same wise, what we have to do? We have to add on, the value will come up 19 by 8. But can we multiply this 7 by 8 with this value? Yes. 1 by 8 with this value. Yes, I just show you once again. 7 by 8 multiply by 3 plus 1 by 8 multiply by minus 2. 7 3s are 21 upon 8. 2 1s are 2 minus 2 by 8. Again the value will come up in 19 by 8. So you can use any of the method, either by the column, either by the row, but the answer will come up same. This is the way of without learning and finding the value of game of the mixed strategy when there is no saddle point. If there is a saddle point, there is no need to do this question. Now we are using the algebraic method only why there is no saddle point. Okay, what we are able to do, use your pen and paper. Don't try to use the calculator. It's a very easy calculation. Do it your mind only. Coming up with the next question, numerical number 2. Don't worry, I will try my best to make you an expert in this method. Right? This is again our second question, A1, A2. Start using your pen and paper and tell me the answer. Hurry up. It's B1, B2. 4 minus 4 minus 4, 4. Ma'am, so easy. So easy, no? Start doing it, then it is easy. Again the same point, minus, but write it on the crisscross point. Right? 4 minus minus 4, that will be 8, but write it over here. Right? Minus 4 minus minus 4, then again it will be 8, ignore the minus sign, write it over here. Right? Same with this one, 4 minus minus 4, again 8, but we have to write it over here cross way. Minus 4 minus 4 minus minus plus, again it will be 8. Sometimes we were doing the right question, but we were so scared, or it was something wrong. Don't worry, it's not wrong, you are doing it the right way. And go ahead. Don't worry, if the next step is something scared, don't stop up. Start moving. If there will be mistake, we will come back, but don't scare. Okay, coming up further, this first step we have done up. Now the next step, see it is 8, 8. You can make it on a lower part, 1, 1. Yes, you can do it can be 1, 1. 8 ones are 8, right? Same with this, we can do it 1, 1. Make it a smaller part. Coming up further, 1 plus 1 will be 2. Then we will make it 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 2. Same with this point, 1 plus 1, 2. 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 2. Right? Now your next important point is optimum strategy for player A. What will be the optimum strategy for player A is 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Right? If I am talking about the optimum strategy for player B, optimum strategy for player B, that will be again this value and this value, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. This is the optimum strategy for player A and B. But what we have to find out, the main important thing, we have to find out the value of the game. So the value of game will be again same concept. This multiply by this plus this value multiply by this value. Right? Do it over here with me. 1 by 2 multiply by 4 plus 1 by 2 multiply 1 by 2 multiply by minus 4 over here. 4 ones are 4, 4 upon 2, that is 2. 4 upon 2, that is 2, minus 2, the answer will become a 0. Right? Here the value of the game is 0. Whenever there the value of the game is 0, that will understood it is a pure game. It's having a fair value, that's a fair game. Sometimes we ask in the MCQ also what is a fair game or what is the value of the strategy in the fair game, the answer will be 0. Ma'am, shall we proceed further and we can find it 1 by 2 in this way also? Yes, 1 by 2 multiply by 4 and 1 by 2 multiply by this minus 4. Again the value will same came up, you can check it. 1 by 2 multiply by 4 and 1 by 2 multiply by minus 4, the answer will came up same. So you can use any of the method and your value will be the same. This is the main concept of the algebraic method without using the formula. Yes, you can learn the formula which I have just discussed over here, yes, this is the formula. You can learn the formula, put the values and find out the gain. But I told you in a simple way, no need to learn the formula, just crisscross the values and find your gain. So it's so easy if you just take this session and find out the result. So this is the first topic which we have discussed in the session, that's an algebraic method which we have just discussed about this algebraic method. So we can able to find out the optimum strategy for player A and B and the value of the game with the help of this algebraic method. Right? We have done numericals without formulas also. We have done this example. Now the point of a case study. Many students are thinking about, ma'am, actually why we are so scared from this case study. See, the case study is just a mental work. In this question, in the previous question, what is exactly there? It's simply a matrix given to you and you started doing the work. When the matrix is not given in the real world, then the question is of basically a case scenario like in this question. It's a case scenario. Now you have to deal with the scenario of the case and find out the matrix, prepare the matrix and find the solution. So start reading this case study and then we'll be able to find out the matrix. In the game of a matching points, that means you have to match the points. Like I have tossed head and you also toss the point and get it the head, then it will be matching. But if I toss head and you got it tail, head and tail, no matching. Right? In the game of a matching point, player A, we are taking 1 point, that's a player A wins rupees 8. If both the coin shows head, that means if there will be both head, player A toss the coin and their head. I don't have a coin, otherwise I will show you. It's a head and the player B also shows the coin and showing in a head. Then the player A wins and will get rupees 8. Right? And if 1 rupees, if both are tail. Now if I toss the coin and it's a tail and you also toss the coin, it's a tail, TT, tail and tail, then it will be 1 rupees. So we have given 2 information, again read it. If there is a case of a matching coin, a player A wins rupees 8 if both the coins are of head and if both are tail. 2 situations are given, head head, tail tail. Right? Now coming up to the next point, player B. See, the question is you have to take care, are we starting the situation from player A point of view or from player B point of view? In this scenario, I am taking it from the player A point of view. So if player A is winning, that definitely means player B will be losing that situation. Right? Now player B wins rupees 3 when the coins do not match. Player B wins the situation of rupees 3 when the coins do not match. That means head tail or tail head. Then player B will get rupees 3. Given the choice of being player A or player B, which would you choose and what will be your strategy? Now you have to decide what will be your strategy in this case study. Please note down this case study properly. Write down this case study very nicely as it is a very important question and then we have to proceed further with this case study. So in the upcoming point we will go through with this case study. Please note down and then we will go and decide about this case study. Basically what we have to do in this case study, just you have to prepare their matrix by your own. So start reading, start trying up and prepare the matrix. Right? Start reading, try the concept same 2 by 2 of matrix, player A, head tail, player B, head tail and put the value and use your algebraic concept and find the result. Right? Okay. So we start with the solution of this case study. Hope you have learned this case study, have read it properly. Shall I read once again, just a little summary. Again the summary is the game of matching coin is there, 2 players are there, player A and player B. The player A will win rupees 8, it is given if both the coins are showing the heads and 1 rupees if both the coins are tails. Right? This is for the player A. And the player B will be given that it will win rupees 3. That means the player B will win 3 rupees that means there is a loss to the player A, right? When the coins do not match, right? Now you have to make the being with the player A and B, and the same scenario goes on, right? So prepare the matrix. I am just helping you. Try to prepare it. Player A over here. Just write it over here as in a player A. Player A, right? Two strategy we have taken, head, tail, right? Same with over here, player B. Two strategy, take it over here, head and tail, right? What we have discussed, 8 rupees will win up, write it over here, head, that means 8 rupees. And 1 rupees if both are tails, so write it over here 1. Why we have done this? 8 and 1, head, and 1 rupees when both is tail, TT. That is 1, right? Now coming up with the next player, B wins rupees 3. When the coins do not match, that means head and tail. And player B wins, that means the player A loses. So that means comes over here is -3. Remember I have written -3. Why? I am taking a point from the player A point of view. Player B wins, but we are writing from this point of view, that means a -3, right? When the coins do not match, given the choice of, again same with this one also, right? That's a player B wins. In both the situation, player A losses, that means -3 and minus. So this is the matrix which we have done up, and again now we are using the same concept. What the concept is? Minus of two values, right? Do it with me. Minus of this 8 minus -3, that will be 11, but don't write it over here, write it over here 11. -3 -1, that will be 4, write it over here 4, right? Same over here, this one 8 -3, that will be 11, but write it over here. Same with this, -3 -1 minus plus, that will be 4, write it over here, right? Now the same scenario we have to follow, that 4 plus 11, that will be 14, right? Same 4 upon 14 we will take it, 4 upon 11, that means 15, so we write it over here as 4 upon 15, and in the next point 11 and 4, that is total 15, but we write it over as 11 upon 15. Same with this also, that is 4 upon 15 and 11 upon 15. And then we have to find the optimum strategy for player A and optimum strategy for player B, and the last point, the most important point, the value of the game, right? So you can have a look over here. I'm just showing the slide of the solution. Look over this. This is the matrix which we have prepared, right? The same we have discussed over here. We have told you of, like this one, 8 -3, write it over here, 3 and 1, write it over here. And in the same way, this one, write it over here, for this, write it over here, right? And again, the same point, 4 upon 15, and for this is 11 upon 15, and for that also, that will be 4 upon 15, and here also 11 upon 15. Now what we have to find out, the optimum strategy for player A will be, what will be the optimal strategy for player A will be 4 upon 15, 11 upon 15, 4 upon 15, 11 upon 15, and what will be the optimum strategy for player B will be 4 upon 15, 11 upon 15. And finally what we have to find out? We have to find out the value of the game in the same scenario. What we used to do in finding the value of the game, just changing the color just to make it highlight to you. This value, right? 4 upon 15 multiplied by 8 and 11 upon 15 multiplied by this -3. Right? Or what we can do up, this 4 upon 15 multiplied by this, or this 11 upon 15 multiplied by -3. So it's up to you which one you are using it, and find the appropriate value. Getting this case study? Fine. So the case study is nothing but just you have to make the matrix by your own, with the help of the information which is provided by the organization, and now you have to use the same scenario, that's an algebraic method without using the formula. Shall we do this question with a pure strategy? Definitely there is no saddle point. That's why I am taking this session today of considering the mixed strategy when there is no saddle point. But actually we have to find out whether there is a saddle point or not. Yes, first of all you have to find out whether there is a saddle point or not in the question. Coming up the next point, this I have told you 4 upon 15, 11 upon 15, 4 upon 15, 11, 15 and the value of the gain comes up in minus 1 upon 15. Right? This you can able to find out with that figure. Now the second situation and the second method for today's session is the graphic method. Don't worry with the graphic method, just you have the pen and paper and the scale for the proper clarification. Otherwise you can use it in the rough way also, but you have to use it in a proper way. The proper line should be there so that the accurate answer will come out. So this method is again one of the important methods in a game theory when there is no saddle point and we have to find the question of mixed strategy. The graphic method, the game theory, is particularly useful for solving the two players zero-sum game, within which what we have to take when there is a mixed strategy, right? It is very important, that's a mixed strategy, and exactly two strategies are there. Basically 2 by 2 of pay of matrix will be there, then this method will be more useful. It used to visually determine the optimum mixed strategy between the players and the game's value. Yes, you have to find out the value of the game. That is the most important thing. And this method is useful for 2 by m and n by 2 order. Basically, ma'am, can it be possible? We have multiple concepts like A1, A2, A3, A4 and B1, B2. Yes, it can be. But normally, there should be 2 either in the column or in the row. Then this method is basically more useful. Right? That means the strategy is of 3 by 2. It can be 5 by 2. Right, or it can be 2 by 5 or it can be 2 by 10 even. But at least in the one column or row there should be 2 over there. Right, 2 strategies will be there. Now shall we proceed further and find out how this graphic method will be solved. By using the graphic method, I am trying to my best caliber with you and solving the question with a numerical point of view only. Okay. So this is the question, again have a look, A1 and A2, that now player 1, A player is having a 2 strategy, 1 and 2, but comparison taking care of player B is having a 3 strategy. So the matrix is of 2 by 3. That means you can use the graphic method over this question. Okay, so this is given over you. Now what you have to find out, you have to solve the following game by the graphic method. So using the graphic method, first we have to find the saddle point. Yes, definitely you have to find the saddle point. But in the graphic method, we have to make the graph and then use the basic concepts. What you have to use, since it is of 2 by 3 matrix, we first of all plot all these values and find the lowest region, highest from the lowest region, the highest value from the lowest region. I am showing this thing with this graph only. Please have a look on the graph which I have prepared. I will try to do it with you, but just on a look. See, we have made the 2 points, that's A1 and A2. Now start plotting these values like from 1 to 8. So we are using 1 to 8, this value of 1. We will use it. A1 is like what we have to do, A1, A2, B1, B2, B3. Right, now start preparing the lines. You have to use the lines of B strategy. B strategy is 1 and 8. Right, 1. Take it 1 over here, 1. I'm using it 8, so we have made this line. Shall I make you with it? Okay, start doing with me. I just try to do with you only, but I have some space required, so okay. Trying with you over here. Right, it's a little less area because it is a fine area. But still I am trying it. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Right? Same here we have to use it. Same. 0, 1, 2, 3, same 4, 5, right, 6, 7, 8 consists of three strategies, B1, B2 and B3. B1 has a strategy of 1 and 8. Now use it as 1. Here it is 1, right? This is your A1 and this is A2 line. Now you have to make a strategy for B. That's 1 and 8. Take it over 8, 1 and this is 8. You join it with this line to this, right? This will be your B1. Now 3 and 5, look over here, 3 and your 5 points, so 3 and 5, this will be your B2, right? Now the third point is 1 and 2, again it is 1 and 2, so 1 over here and 2 over here, 1 and 2, this will be B3, right? Now what you have to do, you have to find the lowest region of the two cut areas where there will be a lowest region, and the lowest region for this, the lowest area, like the minimum of the lowest area. So the lowest area, cut it from A1, this strategy, this lowest region. Okay, the lowest region is this one over here, B1, right? And we are taking this one, B2. So two categories are there, B1 and B2, which is cutting over here. Just deleting this color so that you are able to find out the next one. See, I just plotted this with you only, but the figure is same. Yes, the figure is same, 1 and 8, 3 by 5, 11 by 2. Just plot up this value and see, we have to find out the minimum of, for example, we are selecting the lowest region, the middle region over here, the lowest region over here, and the maximum value of the lowest region. Lowest region and the main सबसे topmost point. Yes, the lowest region, the lower region, but the topmost point in the lower region, and it comes with this point, and this came up from which line? From this line, that's a B2. This line is your, this one line, which is going from 3 to this line. This line is 3, or this line is 1, you have taken a 2, right now? You have taken a line number 2, and this line is going in this way, and line number 3. So we have taken two things, that's B2 and B3. So we selected B2 over here and B3 over here. That means this line 3 by 5 and 11 by 2 we selected up. Now with 3 by 11, this 3 by 11 and 5 by 2, which we have selected. Why we have selected these two? Because the lowest region and the top point of the lowest region cutting with these two strategies, that is B2 and B3. Now we are using the same concept, that's 3 minus 11, the subtracting from the first rows 3 by 11, then it will be, what is will be 11 minus 3, that is 8, but we have to write over here 8, 5 minus 2, write it 3, but we have to write over here. Same with this, 3 by 5 minus 3 minus 5, that is 2, but we write it over here. 11 and 2, that minus, that's 9, we write it over here, and the same process goes on. Right, the same strategy, again 3 by 8, that's 11, so we write it as 3 by 11 and 8 by 11 over here, and 9 by 2, that's again 11, 9 by 11 and 2 by 11. And the same scenario, optimum strategy and the value of the game. But the point is, yes, we have to use the graphic method in a proper way and find out the minimum value from these graphic values, that this value which we have find out, and the point, the most important point, the uppermost point from the lowest region will be the best point, and where you have to start your strategy, right? Shall I show you one more example for this? This is again the same, we have done a 3 by 11 and 8 by 11, 9 by 11 and 2 by 11. This we have done up, and the value of the game in the same strategy, like this value multiply by this and this value multiply by this. You can find it, 9 by 11 multiply by 3 plus 2 by 11 multiply by 11, right? 9 3s are 27, 27 upon 11, 2 into 11, that is 22 upon 11. We sum up these two values, that will be 49 divided by 11. Your answer will be 49 divided by 11 is your value of the strategy by using this graphic method. Check it over here, is it over here? This is your 40 by 11 is your answer. So this is the solution part of the graphic methods of the first part. Right, now I am coming to the second question, Now the concept is changed. See the first question, what's the first question is? We have only 2 strategy for player A, but for player B we have 3 strategy. So that means this matrix is of 2 by 3. Right? This is the first question, and in the first question we have selected the region from the lower side and the topmost point. Right? I have written it over here also. What we have done? You have to select the lower region and the topmost point. Right? Now coming up to the third category of a question, that's the next category of a question is this. Now you have 2 A1, 2 players, but for the V1 we have 5 players, more than 2. So that means this matrix again is of 2 by 5. Now we have to use the same concept. Yes, you have to play the same concept only. You have to make the matrix, line it over there like in the same way I'm just trying with you. This is the graph you have to prepare, right? This is your A1, this is your A2, right? Again, how many points are there maximum? You have to make it right 0. Same over here 0. This is a graph which you can do it with the help of scale. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. You have to use a scale, right? I'm just helping you out in this way. 6. Maximum we have taken scale 6, 6 is there. But you have to go in the negative part also. -1, -1, -2, -2, -3. There is a need of -3. I think so there is no need. Yes, there is a need. Right? -3 and -3. Now easily plot the points. 2, -2. So take it over 2 and just changing the color of the pen. 2, this is 2, right? 2 and -2. This one 2 and this one is -2, right? What you have to use? You have to join it with your scale. So this will be your B1, right? Now the second one, -1, 4. This is -1, this is 4. Join it with the scale, right? This will be your B2. Now 5 and -3. So you have to take this 5. This one is your 5 and -3. This one is your -3. Touch it with this 5 and -3. Done? So this will be your B3. Now coming up next, -2 and 1. This is -2 and this is 1. Right? Join it -2 and 1. This is your B4. Now coming up to the last point, 6 and 0. This is your 6 and this is your 0. Join it with this 6 and 0 and this will be your B5. Don't worry, just take the scale and just try to draw it. Ma'am, without scale we can do a okay, you can go without scale also. You just have to plot it, right? Now what we have to do? Lowest region, the lowest one. And again changing the color so to make you more attractive, this lowest region. Right? Now in the lowest region, the topmost point. In the lowest region, topmost point. What is the topmost point in the lowest region? This one, I'm just making a point, right? This highlighting with this point. So this point will came up from the 2 intersecting point. Find these 2 intersecting point. One is going in this way, B4, right? And one is going in this one. This line is B1. So we have taken 2 lines, B1 and B4. Now if you have your eyes in on the wrong line, your answer will be wrong. So what line we have taken? Again, please have a look properly. I'm trying my best to explain you these points. This point, I'm just making it more color. How this point come up? With 2 lines. Check these 2 lines is coming up from this one line, that's a B4, right? This line is going on. Shall I color it? Shall I color it? Okay, I'm doing like this. This line, highlighting this point B4 and one more point, this point we have to need it. So this point. This point, yes. So B1. So the highlighted, these 2 lines will be the red one. Focus on the red line. That will be B4 and B1. Right? Now you have to select B4 and B1, B4 and B1, and rest will be deleted. So write it over here. 2, minus 2, minus 2 and 1, B1 and B4 will be selected. Here it is 1 and 2. Now it is easy. From these long matrix, you have converted into small matrix. That's a 2 by 2, 1 by 4, and you have selected. Now the process remains the same. What the next process? Minus and write it on the cross side. Minus and write it on the cross side. Fine. I try my best to make it colorful, like color green, blue, yellow we have used up, so that you are able to find out exact figure and your eyes on the correct answer. Still, if you want to see, one can have a proper way of all this. I am not deleting, but I am showing it. See, I try my best to show you with my board also. This is the point I have selected it. Again, the same region we have selected. This is the lowest region. This is the highest point, and the 2 point came up first and fourth. The same thing I told you up and try to do up with you only. This is what we have done up. We have also selected this B1 and B4. Right? Now the next step remains the same what we have done up in the same question also, as we have selected 2 and minus 2 and 1. Again plus up 2 minus 2, 2 minus 2, that will become a 4. Write it over here, crisscross. 2 minus 2 minus 1. Minus plus 2 plus 1, 3, but we have to write it on the crisscross 3. Right? 3 upon 4, total of 3 upon 4, that is 7. That means 3 upon 4 and 4 upon 7. Same strategies follows with this point also. Over here, 2 minus 2, 4, but crisscross we have to do. Crisscross over here. Minus 2 and 1, minus 2 minus 1 will be 2 and 1, 3, but crisscross will be there. Remember, you have to write in the crisscross point, otherwise your answer will be wrong. Now what we have to do? 3 plus 4, 7, this same point. Have a look. Find out the optimum strategy with the player A and B. In the same way, how we find the optimum strategy? 3 by 7 and 4 by 7. How this come up? This one. 3 by 7, 3 by 7 and 4 by 7. This is the optimum strategy for player A, and for player B 3 by 7 and 4 by 7. And then the last, the most important is the value of the game. How we find out the value of the game? In the same way, multiply the figure for this value 3 by 7 multiply by 2 plus 4 by 7 multiply by minus 2. Now you have to find out the value of game with the help of graphic method. See, this is the question numerical number 2 of the graphic method. Find with this question also. We have done the algebraic method, we have done the graphic method. One more question is there, though it is a very tough point, but still try to do up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My God, that means the player A is now having a different strategy. Don't worry, use the same concept. 5 is there, but the 2 is there. Remember, in the graphic method, either player A or the player B will have 2. Someone is 2. But here we have 5 and 2. What we have to do? There is some change in this type of concept, and the concept is now you have to shade the upper area. Right? Now you have to shade the upper area. I have written over here, solve the following graph by using what? Now you have to try to shade the upper area and find the lowest one. But the graph will be done in the same way. Yes, see, you have to prepare like these two graphs. But here now you have to write B1 and B2. Right, same process, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Same point you have to do up. But the graph you have to make like this. Minus 6, 7. So that means you have to plot minus 6 and 7. Join up. I am showing you, not preparing with you, but I am showing you. Please have a look on the diagram. This is the diagram. The same thing you have to plot it, but you have to do it, then only you will become expert. Don't have a look on this. Try to do it in the register. Take the pen and paper and start doing it. Same graph is there. Same you have joined up, but stop. What we have to do? Upper point. Yes, now in this question, you have to select which point? You have to select this upper region. Upper region. In the previous question, we selected the lowest region, but in this question, we have to select the upper region. region, and in the upper region find the lowest point. Lowest point. Again the point will be come up with the two lines. You have to find out which one these two lines is, and then select that two lines, and again the same point what we have select, the 2 points over here being selected as B1 and B2. Note down over there two players, but we have selected A4 and 5-4. See, the A4 and 5-4 is the best strategy for player A. How we came to know about the 4 and 5? With the help of this diagram. Right? In this diagram, we have to make and select the upper region, upper areas pura, and then we have to find out the medium point of that. And then select it and make it the same scenario. Again, I am repeating the same point, that is same minus an optimum strategy. But stop over here for a while and check it. There is a something over here. Check it over here. That's a very important. Optimum strategy for player A. See, the player A is having how many strategies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? But A is being selected of two strategy where two lines touches. Right? Which one we have selected? 4 and 5. When we have selected 4 and 5, what about 1, 2, 3, 4? What about 1, 2, 3? So for 1 and 2, we have taken 0, 0, 0. The most mistakes done by the student. Remember, you have taken 4 and 5. So the strategy for 1, 2, 3 will be considered as 0, 0, 0, and the same that is for the 4th and 5th. And same for the B1, B2, that's same. Again, the value of the game is the same way and the same answer will be calculated. Fine, done. Hope you getting it. What we have done in this question, when we have the questions of this type, right? What we have done, find out 2 by 3 matrix or a 5 by matrix. You have to make it, plotting it. No need to have the like graph paper. Just take two lines, draw it and plot it, and find the upper region or the lower region. This is the second method, that's a graphing method. Hope it is fine now what we have done. Right, now start with the testing. Now sit properly and start using the questions with me. Sit properly and start giving the answer. Right, now this is the one question for you. Look and tell me the answer for this question. What is the primary? This is the test for you, so start ready with the test. What is the primary objective of a game theory in operation research? As you have done about the operation research and the game theory with me, tell me the answer. Maximum profit, minimum cost, analyzing the decision making in a competitive situations, or we can say optimizing the supply chain logistics. Read the question, analyze it and tell me the answer. What is the primary? I am just talking about the primary objective, right? I am just talking about the primary objective over here. Remember, the question changes. It is written primary, the most important objective. So the answer will be hurry up, hurry up. What do you say? What do you feel? Yes, the correct answer is C, analyzing the decision making in the competitive situation. In this competitive situation, you are able to make a good decision. That's why the game theory is useful. Correct answer by you. Now coming up to the second test question for you. Okay. Read this question once again with me. In the game theory, what does that Nash equilibrium, in the previous class we have discussed, Nash equilibrium represent? You need an option? Okay, had an option. The first option is a strategy where the one player dominate, that means one player is standing in front of you and dominate the other player. Dominate the other. The second point, a strategy profile where no player can be benefited by changing. Second point is a strategy profile where no player can, what they are saying, that no player, over here it is written that no player can benefit by changing their situation unilateral. Hope you are able to understand that Nash equilibrium, that no one, a strategy profile where no player can change their strategy unilateral. And the point number C, a cooperative outcome where all the players maximize their individual payoff. And the last point is a situation where the players conclude to get the maximum benefit. Hurry up, answer. Yes, exactly, you was on the right track. The answer is the B. Right? Hope you are getting it. Hope you are enjoying this MCQ test. Right, okay. Now coming up to the next question. I need an answer from each and every student. Okay. Which game theory concept improves the players making decision without knowing the actions of the others? That I am not able to see what the others are doing it. Then what action will you take it? The options for here are zero-sum game, simultaneous game, sequential, one by one step by step, sequential, and the cooperative. Have we learned about all these game theories, the different types of game theories? If you haven't taken the session of the types of game theory, just have a look on that session of game theory, come back again and give this test scenario. So the correct answer for this is, yes, the correct answer is sequential game, right? In the sequential game. Okay. Coming up to the next test of your MCQ is a zero-sum game. Brilliant answer, I think so. Your answer will be on your tips on this question. The zero-sum game is characterized by which you can characterize a players working together to maximize their joint players. Second, a situation where the total payoff is always zero. Third one player gain being equalized to another player losses. Zero-sum game. The one player wins and the equal amount the other player will losses, and that is infinite possible outcomes. Hope you get the correct answer. Yes, actually you are on the right track. The answer is C, that is one player's gain by equal amount of the loss by the other player. Right? Coming up to the next question, hurry up. In a sequential game, player makes decision. Sequential, again it is of the types of the game theory which we have earlier discussed. So the options are at the same time, like they are asking in the sequential game, the players have to take a decision at the same time or after observing the decisions of the others. Sequential, if they are on the sequence, can check the players for others? Yes, I am going in a queue. I can check the player other what they are doing out without giving the prior information or only once throughout the game. So the correct answer is, what you feel? Yes, it's a B answer. Observing the decisions taken by the other players can give you the correct and the most optimum answer. Right? Coming up with the next question test for you. Hurry up. The next question is, what does the mini-max theory states in a game theory? Have we done about mini-max and max-min? Right. So in the mini-max, it's a mini-max. What does this mini-max game theory suggest or helps you in finding out? The option 1 is, the player should minimize. The player should minimize their maximum possible losses. Second, the player should maximize their minimized possible players. The player should maximize their maximum possible gains. Players should minimize their overall profits. See, it is given mini-max. The one who haven't taken my previous session, they will definitely get confused with mini-max and max-mini. But the one who is taking regular classes on all the sessions of the game theory, they are able to find out the answer of these questions. So, you are on the right track. Yes, the answer is minimize their maximum possible losses. I just want to minimize my losses as much as I can. Right. Coming up further, hope you enjoying this test and loving to do it. Right. Now, shall we proceed with one more question with you? Or today's session is over. Thank you so much, and very nice class will be there, as we have learned in this session of game theory in the mixed strategy, basically how we can overcome the questions of mixed strategy when there is no saddle point. And when there is no saddle point, what are the different methods which we can use, and taking the help of that method, we are able to find out the optimum strategies for the player A, the optimum strategies for the player B, and the value of the game. So this is how The mixed strategy, when there is no pure strategy, that means that when there is no settle point, with the help of algebraic method and with the help of graphic method, we are able to find out the value of the game. Hope this test is being justified by to you and you are able to give the answer of all these questions. Thank you so much for today's session. Bye bye. Take care.